Hello there, Reason people! PoohBear here and welcome to my channel, and today we're going to have a quick look at how to get Drumazode, or more to the point, how we're going to get the pattern from Drumazode into our sequencer, or to do other things with it. Yes, I have done a couple of videos recently, one to do with Element and one to do with Voltage Modular, how we can get Midi out of VSTs, but the fact is this question's come up specifically for Drumazode, and because I suppose because it was a freebie on Plugin Boutique quite recently, so a number of people have picked it up, so I thought I'd quickly go through it. Elements is a free option. However, there is a little bit of latency issues with Elements, but the fact that we could take this straight into the sequencer, it's not an issue because obviously you can just come in and then just move it around and make sure it's perfectly in line. I'm going to leave this Drumazode in here as well because I'm going to actually be looping back into this Drumazode. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is just turn off the internal sequencer and that. So now this doesn't work at all. Yeah, it's going to have input coming into this, and I'm going to use the Voltage Modular route. So I'm going to grab Voltage Modular, open it up, and let's make sure it opens up on the right screen because it never does. So here it is. What we're going to need is obviously a host module. So quickly let's grab ourselves a host module, and I'm going to need a Midi output. There we go. So we grab ourselves our Midi output. I'm going to click on select a plugin, load a VST, and again, oh, it's loaded on the right screen. Here we go, Drumazode. Double click on it. Here it is. Now, obviously, if I click on start, it's actually running, but you can't actually hear anything. And the reason you can't hear anything is I haven't actually wired, obviously, this to any output because we're not interested in the audio coming out, but more importantly, I haven't done the Midi. And the reason I haven't done the Midi is for twofold. One, I'm going to just come out and I'm going to give Midi focus to this one. I don't want the Midi loopback going to this one. And now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to choose my Midi port, and I'm going to go, could go for that one. Oh, let's go for my box standard one. If you've never done a loopback before, and now I'm going to wire up the Midi, I have got a video on that, and so I'll make sure there's a link in the description for it. Now we've got this, I can obviously click on view edit, and when I push start, it should start working, he says. And here we go, up and running. And obviously I can change the pattern. But that's the one we're hearing. So this is coming from, as I say, Cherry Audio. This is coming from obviously Voltage Modular. And it's going via my loop back, coming back in, and it's playing this instrument over here. Now, what that really means at the end of the day is if I come down here and ask to hit record, here's our Midi data. All ready for us to do whatever we wish to it. One of the things I have noticed with this device is its gate information, or its note lengths are obviously side by side, rather than quite short, what we're used to seeing really with a drum sequencer. What I actually prefer to do, and there's another method obviously we can get the data in, obviously there's loads of different ways we can do this now, is I'm actually going to grab myself sequences. Now I like sequences because A, because it's 32 steps, B, it's 127 lanes, where obviously the other number of players you use will actually be restricted. We can obviously hit record on this at this very moment in time, because it's a step recorder. So excellent, we've now got this in sequences. I don't even need that anymore, so I could just delete that out because we've got what we want here. What I'm going to do now is very quickly just grab another device. There we go. And I'm just going to grab this sequences and drop it on top because I can. Obviously, you can combine them up, but the reason I like to run these two separately is I can actually change to say the shuffle of this one to that one because they're the same pattern. And well, there you go. Bob's your uncle. Nice and simple. Taking Midi data out of our Drumazode, bring it into Reason, and I say put it into a pattern. I think it's put into a thread player. It's really nice, and obviously we can just drag these notes down. It doesn't affect it at all. I just find this a lot easier to see than when they're all together. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.